Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunitha, along with my co-host Tracy, we hop on every Friday and talk about everything North Fork. Yes, it's still winter on the North Fork. It is so windy. The sun is out, which is great, but I am definitely feeling spring. Yes, I'm totally rocking my spring vibes. We just recently made this necklace. I don't know if you guys saw that. I shared it on my NOFO style account, but I'm so in love I had to wear it today, even though it's freezing. Speaking of freezing, tomorrow is the Southold Winterfest, which we are going to have a table at, along with, I believe, like 50 or more local small businesses that are going to be there. Obviously, the businesses that are on Main Street in Southold will be open, but a whole bunch of businesses smaller businesses from around the town will be there. So come stop by at the NOFO Live table. We have some North Fork merch that we made for ourselves, and we have a small batch of it. So we will be selling some t-shirts, some hoodies. I posted some in stories if you want to take a look. And we'll be having some freebies. And I'm saying we, but I know Tracy, if you've seen her stories, she and Tilly have both been under the weather. So I'm hoping that she'll be able to join the show this morning. And I'm not sure if she'll be at the table tomorrow or not, but either way, stop by, come say hi. And it's supposed to be a beautiful community event. Our guest today, neat, very interesting hotel concept in Greenport called the Lin Beach House. And the owner, Leslie. Good morning.
Good morning.
On cue. You joined on cue. And the owner, Leslie, who also is the co-founder of Matchbook Distilling, is joining us today. Good morning. And is that Sophie with you?
Yes.
Good
Hi.
morning, both of you. As I was saying at the top of the show, Tracy hasn't been feeling well all week, and Tilly hasn't been feeling all week, so I know she's going to try to join. Good morning. I'm so glad you made it.
I'm here in spirit. You can hear.
Ooh, spirit.
Yeah.
Good word. Good word.
I'm gonna let Sophie
We'll
do
let
most of the talking today, but yeah.
I was just telling everybody that based on how you're feeling, they may not get to see you
Yeah.
at the Winterfest, but I will do my best to try and represent, and we'll see how it goes.
Bring a big curly wig and you'll be covered.
Well, does it have to be blonde? How are you feeling, real quick? You feel like you're turning the corner or not yet?
I feel like today I might actually be starting to turn a corner.
It's been a
Maybe.
week, right?
Yes, it was started last Friday.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. All right, let's hop in today's show. Leslie, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us how you started the Lin Beach House.
Sure. Yes, I'm Leslie. Nice to meet you both. I started the Lin by accident when we moved to Greenport to open Matchbook Distilling Company. We needed a place to live, and we were bringing people out to work at Matchbook, and so we were looking around for houses, but as are so characteristic for North Fork homes, they're more like salt box, old, beautiful, super charming, but like not a lot of space. And so every house we saw was, one, very expensive, and two, the rooms were on top of each other, and that might have been a little bit of an intense condition for building, like working together during the day and coming home at night.
Yeah.
And then we drove past the Lin Beach House. We learned that it had been closed for over 10 years, and the rent was unbelievably cheap. And so we met the owner, Larry Blessinger, and we signed a lease agreement and moved in while we started fixing the place up. And that's kind of the history of the
What year was this?
Maybe 2017,
Yeah.
2016.
So
I'm so excited.
long before COVID. When you
Yeah.
said it was reasonable, it's definitely long before COVID.
Yeah. I'm so excited because I can remember when I first moved. I first moved out here in 2017, so I think it was 2017 because it still looked pretty empty at that point. And I can remember driving by going like, that place is a gold mine. Somebody has to like snatch that up and modernize it, and it is going to be amazing. So I'm so glad that you did.
Thank you.
Well, and thank you for sharing the behind the scenes, because obviously you were looking for something different than a house, right? Because your purpose of having that space was for a different reason. But I love that you stuck with it, and now you've morphed it into, I guess you don't need it for the original purposes anymore. Is that
No,
correct?
so most of the team lives here. So it is like a joint staff housing, and then we rent out the additional rooms. We have 6 guest rooms that we rent out. Yeah, so it very much fits the original purpose. And then we have pop-ups in the bar. When we first opened, we had the bar open for several years. And then we closed it during COVID, and just we got too busy with the distillery to run a bar. So it's now just open for pop-ups, which Sophie runs.
Hi, Sophie. How are
Hi,
you?
good. How are you?
Good. Give us a quick intro of what your background is and how you became involved in the Lin.
Sure. So I'm Sophie. I run like e-commerce, social media, events, communications, etc. for both the Lin and Matchbook. I've been friends with them for a couple of years, but I started working for them about a year and a half ago or so. I was working in the city in like corporate e-commerce, and Leslie approached me with some things that they would love my help with that I was really excited about. And yeah, here I am. So yeah, I've been working with them for like a year and a half, and I work on specifically marketing, e-commerce, and social communications. And like Leslie said, a lot of the pop-ups, and specifically at the Lin events pop-ups, and like guest experience and things like that here.
So fun. I love that the two of you are here together, because every small business owner knows there are 1 million hats to wear, right? And Leslie, you've got 2 million hats to wear, because you're wearing the hats for the Lin and you're wearing the hats for the distillery. And telling the brand story and doing the outreach and doing the marketing and a social media presence is so important. So it's great that you're here, Sophie, to take that role so each of you can do best, and do both of those roles justice.
Yeah.
Leslie, so when the rooms that you rent out, do you rent them out like a hotel, like nightly, or are they long-term rental? How does someone go about experiencing the Lin Beach House and staying there?
Yeah, we have 6 bedrooms upstairs. We for the past few years have been on Airbnb, so they can just rent the rooms out, sort of like Airbnb, and it's very clear that they're part of like a larger boutique hotel. We have everything else included, like all of the amenities with the common spaces downstairs. But we also we just have like a regular hotel booking system that people can book directly from our website. Each individual rooms. We also have the 6 bedrooms upstairs available as like a room block. So a lot of times couples want to block all the 6 rooms for them and their wedding party, and they have like pictures here, or they have like some of their wedding events at the Lin. So we also have it available as like a full room block as well.
So for somebody that hasn't walked in there, right? Obviously, we've driven past it a million times. And as Tracy mentioned earlier, the outside of the building is spectacular, with the porch and the white. I don't even know how to describe what it is, but it's ornate and beautiful. So give us an experience of somebody that's booking a room, because you mentioned you have the bar and the common space below. What would their experience be like? What are the amenities and features you have below, before the rooms?
Yeah, so right now, if someone to book a room, we have a bunch of amenities. Let me think. So we have something that we started about a year or two ago, because we're always trying to bridge the gap between the Lin and Matchbook and make it like a very cohesive experience. If you're a guest at the Lin Beach House, you receive a complimentary tasting at the distillery, which you can schedule ahead of time. We're open at the distillery on Saturdays from 1 to 6. And we have an aperitivo hour. I don't know if you can see like the shelves behind us here. And we're in the bar room here, and the shelves behind us here. We built about a year ago, and guests can come, and we have a bunch of instructions on how to like make their own cocktails. So we have all Matchbook spirits there, and a bunch of cocktails they can select from, and they can kind of like make their own Matchbook spirit. And that's the aperitivo hour. It's complimentary for guests, and it's open every day from 3 to 5 if you're a guest at the Lin. We also have complimentary pastries, complimentary coffee, and we also have a general store in the Lynn, which has like a tons of local goods, snacks, and spirits, matchbook spirits, some books that either local friends have written or friends of the distillery or friends of the Lynn. So yeah, it's like a little general store available for people to if for their needs while they're here. We've got sunscreen for the summer months, things like that, and we're constantly sort of evolving what's available there, and also evolving sort of like what is available to guests at the Lynn. We kind of come up with like new ideas every season for different things to introduce.
What are the hours of the general store? Like if a local wanted to just come in and check it out, when could they come see the
So
the store?
tonight is actually a great opportunity. We have our first Friday. So the first Friday of every month, we have a visiting bartender and a visiting chef that we pair together for a really unique concept that's only alive for that one night. And it's from 6 to 10. And that would be a time that the outside community can come and visit the general store. But aside from that, it's really just for guests.
Okay.
So this is more like an event space you're using it as, right? Because you've done this a few times before, the first Fridays. Who are some of the guest bartenders you've had? Because I know you've had a few locals that people would recognize.
Yeah, so we started it last spring, and the idea was we wanted to start some like programming at the Lynn to not have the bar open like as a regular basis, but for these pop-ups. So we were talking to a couple of chefs that have worked with us before that were excited about doing events, and we came up with a bunch of different concepts to try like this summer to see what we enjoyed doing and to see what the local community and guests enjoyed coming to the Lynn for. And so we came up with this idea for First Friday, which is the first Friday of every month. And it's like a rotating cast of like local friends and chefs and characters. So the idea was we got to like showcase a bunch of different local chefs. And so every month is a different chef and they come up with their own menu. It's kind of like bar tasting menu. It's not like a full dinner menu. There's 6 to 7 items. You can have it's enough for a full dinner, but it's not like a bowl of pasta. It's more of like a
And
sharing.
is it a la carte or is it fixed price?
Yeah,
Or
no, you just walk in. It's just like open like a regular bar. It's a la carte. You order whatever you want. You don't have to order food. You can just get cocktails or not. And the other idea was so we have rotating chefs and then we have rotating bartenders. And initially, the idea was the idea for the first Fridays was kind of like never before seen behind a bar, never to be seen again. So they were like not people who are really bartenders. So we had farmers, photographers, local business owners, just different like friends of ours, friends of Matchbook, friends of the Lynn. And we wanted it to be like a fun and funny thing. It's kind of a lot of, how we are. It was very casual. You're not getting like a premiere experience behind the bar. You're getting a fun experience.
I would argue that you're getting a premiere experience because it's unusual.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when you started that series, it did catch my eye, and I wanted to reach out last year and be like, maybe Tracy and I want to know for life wants to, but
definitely.
Tracy can serve the mocktails and I'll serve the cocktail.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
So-
we would love to have you guys. And the idea behind it was, I mean, for it to be fun, but we also just liked the idea of there being rotating like bartending hosts and rotating chefs because to bring in like all different kinds of folks into the Lynn. So we had some friends from the South Fork, local people, different businesses. To sort of bring in like their community. So, there's always like different smaller communities on the North Fork. So like bring in their community into the Lynn and to taste Matchbook and to like kind of get a little bit of the experience to see what it's about. And it's kind of evolving from there. It's still the same idea. We still do it the first Friday of every month. We save for January when we all needed a bit of a break after New Year's. But now we have some people visiting from the city that are friends of Matchbook, friends of Leslie's that are popping up behind the bar. Some who are a little more experienced, some who are actually very experienced behind the bar. So sort of like evolving that experience or just open to different people who want to come sort of like collaborate with us. Yeah.
I see
someone
here
asking.
Yeah.
So no reservations. It's just walk in. But we have so many spaces. We're not turning people away. We'll just open additional rooms. So don't worry about finding a spot. Just
Yeah, you
come
can
down.
just walk in at any time between 6 and 10. We're
So
here.
it's cocktail style. You walk around, mingle, and nibble, and it's more like that.
Yeah.
I love it.
There's places like sometimes I sit down and I don't move the whole night and I just have drinks and food. Other times I'm like hopping around, and that is the format. I'm a guest, That's the format for the guest. You can really choose your own journey.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so we can see a little bit of the vibe of the space that you're in. What is the vibe of the rooms now? I'm sure it's evolved over time from when you got it to what it is now. So, how would you describe the vibe of the rooms right now? Like, is it beachy, coastal? Is it eclectic? Is it what is the vibe you guys are going for?
Definitely very coastal. The original furniture in the Lin, we kept some of it. It was very sort of very French and ornate, or very Gothic. And so while we really pared it down from the original, the Shady Lady, we've kept some iconic pieces
Wait, is that
and layered it.
what it was called before?
The Shady Lady. Yeah, so it was the
Okay.
Shady Lady for a long time. And before that, it was the Portly Grape, and before that, it was Porky's. So it's had a number of iterations. This is its
Okay.
fourth life. Yeah, so very beachy, very North Fork, I would say. That amalgamation of bringing sort of the coastal natural world indoors, and we've just layered it in with some of the original, like, Gothic French accoutrement. And then Sophie and I are really into the North Fork yard sale scene.
Oh.
And so we'll pick up new pieces all the time, and sort of rearrange a bunch of special corners. The rooms are all very oversized, very high ceilings, very big, comfy beds. Most of the rooms, or four of the rooms, have large balconies and clawfoot tubs. Like they're pretty luxurious.
Oh my gosh, I want a
I know.
staycation now. I want to be on that balcony.
I remember when your website first came out and it was very sexy. Like, I remember the pictures and stuff, kind of feeling like I could definitely tell who you were marketing to based on the pictures.
I think
and
it's
like
still
the,
very
is
sexy.
it?
I'm just gonna throw that out there. Yeah,
Okay.
we like that. Yeah,
Okay.
sex it up. We're in.
Okay. There was another question about tonight of, who's the guest bartender and chef tonight?
Oh, so the guest chef is Chef Josh Patsos, who previously was the bread baker and baker at Leon 1909 and is now at Nookie's at Silver Sands. He has been the chef for a couple of First Fridays, and we can't get enough of his food, so we keep asking him back. And the menu is actually live on our Instagram. We have a post if you wanted to check out the menu, both the food and cocktail menu. And then the bartender tonight is Leslie can probably speak more to Bree.
Yeah, our friend Bree, who was most recently at Le Tigre in the Lower East Side, which is, talk about sexy. It's like a very intimate, gold dripping space with incredible cocktails. And she's now working on a new project. And she's also a brand ambassador for Northern Rose Spirits out of Canada. And so it's a collaboration between Brie and Northern Rose and Matchbook. She is very creative with drinks, and they're gorgeous. So we're really excited. This is not that our last bartenders haven't been a level up, but this is really special.
Okay, now I'm having second thoughts about offering our bartending services. Although I will say that in the past posts, I have seen people that I know that are not necessarily traditional bartenders, but bringing their flair to it.
Didn't
So I think,
Stephanie from Tulsi Square do it?
Yeah, we had
yes,
Stephanie and Julia King.
Yeah.
yes, I
who's
was
a
thinking of
local
Julia King.
musician. That one was
It was a blast.
It was a really fun one. We usually, so it has kind of evolved from what it was. Not to say that we won't go back to having some like local, amateur bartenders, but we always have the bartenders, no matter what it is, like input their flair on it. So if whatever their favorite cocktails are or favorite flavor, or they want to name the cocktails, they're always a big part of the whole evening. And you know, for example, Brie, who's tonight, she's like has some insane drinks on the menu that's also posted on our Instagram that we're very excited about as well. So they're always like a huge collaborator, no matter what experience level they have.
That
That's
sounds so
exciting.
fun.
So my question is, there's been a lot of talk about, you know, the city life that you had before. So what made you choose the North Fork for Matchbook and therefore then opening the Lin?
So for Matchbook, I wanted to really focus on making spirits from local farms, and there just aren't a lot of farms in New York City. So we partner with a number of farms on the North Fork and the South Fork. Uh, so it was just a natural fit. I also have always had such a strong affinity for the water, and I have family out here. So it was a natural pull. I can't imagine being anywhere else. Why are you on the North Fork?
I mean, same reasons. I grew up. I've always been attached to the North Fork. I grew up coming out to the North Fork my whole life, and I was living in the city for years. And I think about around COVID, I came out to just like spend time with my family, and I never went back to my apartment. I was like surprised to learn all of these like communities, young communities of people who are actually out here that I didn't really realize, and like a lot of opportunity and, you know, friends to make and things to do that I didn't really realize. And I just never went back to the city. And here I am.
Well, over
Yes.
the last, I would say 5, maybe at least 10 years, the North Fork has continued to evolve and and yet continue to retain some of the amazing community feel that attracts us. Not only just attracts us, but retains us here, right? Because when you find a place to stay and you get everything you're looking for, why would you move?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I want to hear more because you guys sound really creative. I love this idea of the series that you started with the pop-up bartending and even. Are you planning other different events or other activities at the Lin?
Yeah, so not, we have one coming up that's not at the Lin. It's actually going to be at Bricks and Rye on the 17th. A world famous bar in LA called Thunderbolt, which is on the list of the best bars in the world, is going to do a one night pop up at Bricks and Rye with
Ooh.
us on Monday, the 17th. So not next Monday, but the following. And it should be pretty spectacular.
And we
That
have,
sounds exciting.
yeah, last summer we started another series of events that we haven't really started chatting about, but I'm pretty sure we'll do again because we loved doing it. We had a fish fry.
Oh,
So last summer we had 2 of them, and the turnout was amazing. We had so much fun. We had Leslie can talk a little bit more about the origin of it, like where the inspiration come. They were on like a matchbook sort of team trip, and where was it again?
We were in Curacao.
Yes.
Yeah. We were with one of our big customers for her birthday. We went to Curacao and we wound up at this incredible restaurant. It was on the water. It was a neighborhood spot, and you'd go up to a fish counter and you'd like pick your fish, and then they would fry it and give it to you with a bunch of sauces. It was just delicious.
oh
So
my
we
God, that sounds amazing. And just a minute ago, I see Jermaine pop up here from North Fork Seafood. So if you're looking for fresh
Yeah.
fish, he's definitely your guy.
so my husband actually caught all the fish for the
Oh,
fish fry
Wow.
with his friend John. And yeah, he has a handful of fishing buddies. They have commercial fishing licenses.
oh, how
And
fun! How
yeah,
fun!
so they caught the fish, and it was porgy, tuna. It's incredible. So you choose between 2 fish, and then you can get a sashimi add-on.
Oh,
Um,
you
We do.
definitely need to redo that. I mean, that sounds an
Yeah,
amazing
we
event.
will do it. I think a few times this summer. The chef Taylor Knapp is the one who is like the head guy for the job. He is going to be doing all of them. And I don't know if Chef Taylor Knapp is of Pawpaw Pop-Ups, which is at the Lin throughout the month as well. We've collaborated with him a bunch. He's doing a first Friday in March. He's an incredible chef, and we knew he would be the guy for the job for this fish fry. I know when Leslie experienced that, they were like, we have all these things, but North Fork style. So Yeah, it's really fun. You get your food on the trays. You get some like local North Fork sides, and of course like Matchbook and other local drinks. And it's during the day, usually on like a Saturday in the summer. And we open up we have a backyard area which is like fully tented, and there's like a
Wait, you
beautiful.
saved that for the end? You
Yeah,
should have led with that.
yeah. We don't have any of them
Hold
booked
on
yet,
a minute.
but stay
You've
Still
got
tuned.
several months
balconies.
out.
You've got
Yeah,
balconies and a backyard.
yeah,
You lead with that.
yeah.
If you haven't been to 𝗟𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗶, we're doing them throughout the year, and they're incredible. Book one.
I haven't made it to one, but I have heard of
Yeah,
people
they're
who've
I
gone and loved it,
actually
and they are amazing.
I actually bought my parents a gift certificate through the cast auction for a
oh,
four-part dinner, and
Oh,
nice.
I
I
love it.
know they're excited to go. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and they're great chefs, but both of them. So, and we've talked a lot about Matchbook, but we certainly want you to come back and discuss. We want to hear all about the distillery and the process because I think it's so unique and different from some of the other places here because you can make your own blends and you're literally making personalized. So we'd love for you to come back and talk more about that because I feel like that needs a whole hour in of itself.
Yeah.
Great. Can't wait.
Before we end the show, we're gonna kick off our NOFO Live 5. So if the two of you can both answer. If the two of you were going to take us out for a lunch or dinner, where would you choose to take us on the North Fork?
It's so hard to choose. There are
Uh,
we have,
Take us to the fish fry. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
yeah, it's what a unique place that we have so many over the top restaurants out here. I like how to choose.
I'm choosing for you, fish fry.
Yeah, fish fry. We love Leon 1909. We did a collaboration with them a couple of months ago. They carry some Matchbook spirits and great cocktails.
Obviously, Bricks and Rye, Little Creek. Yeah,
Yeah, Leon.
hard to choose,
I think
but
Leon is going to join us and be talking about the restaurant on the show in a couple of
Oh,
weeks.
nice.
cool.
So
We'll tune
we'll
in.
hear more about. Yeah, they're just reopening again for the
Yeah,
season. So can't wait to see their new menu.
that might be my choice right now. Yeah.
Sunrise, sunset. What do you catch from the property?
I live in Southold, so I love the Kenny's Beach sunset. It's like you can't miss it. You get every piece of it. I also like my parents live on Nassau Point, and I like the Nassau Point sunset. It's always very like the other side of the sunset, so like purples, pinks, blues.
Yeah.
That's my preference.
there's something so unique about the light here, and I think that's what so many artists like Rothko would talk about. That it was so people always give so much weight to the sunrise and sunset, but the light out here all day and night just gives everything such a glisten, right?
There's
Yes.
something about the sky. Yes, it's hard to describe, and
But
it's every day is
particularly
different.
here, it's the North Fork light. It's rare, and I think that's why so many artists have been drawn to the North Fork.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
I
love
never
that.
thought of it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Sunita, Mocktail Winery Brewery.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I was waiting for farm stands. I already know the answer to the winery and the brewery.
Yeah.
But if you weren't drinking any of the wonderful Matchbook Distillery spirits, where might we find you, and what would you be enjoying?
You'd probably find us at the bar at Bricks and Rye. I would probably be drinking a dirty martini.
Second. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That sounds good. I mean, I'm discovering that I'm really loving the taste of olives and water. I could probably just even skip the alcohol and
Yeah.
Yeah,
do like a filthy water.
sounds
That's
delicious.
one of my favorites. So we love hearing where people like to hit up for farm stands and what specifically they like to get at each of these farm stands.
I love Deep Roots. I get most of my food from Deep Roots. I also love getting a bird from Browder's Birds. And it's the name of the farm is Gaelic. And I honestly maybe tilde win, but it's the raw milk
Oh,
dairy.
Tyclude.
Thank
Oh,
you. Oh my God.
Include. Yes, it took me a long time to figure out the name also until
Thank you.
Slow food gave them a
Where
seal of
is
approval.
where is that?
It's on.
It's like Riverhead or Aquabog on the
It's
North
spelled
Road.
TT 𝗟𝗲𝗀𝗶𝗲. You pass it all the time
Yeah.
when you come to my house.
And
And they
I
have
get milk
calves
from
and
them.
they sell raw milk.
Yeah,
Next time you
I get
pass it.
their milk all the time. I love it. So
Also, me.
those three.
They're a really great small family farm. I
Yeah.
mean, literally, it's, mom, pop, kids, and they have calves and cows and they run it all themselves. They're really an amazing family farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All of those. I'm partial to Treber Farms because I live there. I don't know. I'll tomatoes, their pickles, which they have right now, are amazing.
I hope Trooper's not watching. Obviously, Trooper Farms.
Yeah. then
Okay, hold on. It's not about
No,
favorites. It's
no,
just
it's
about
not.
what you end up with. So you don't have to mention every farm.
So I buy thousands of pounds of agriculture from Trooper Farms.
Yeah,
so
they're
that
big
would be my number one, obviously my number one farm. I source from them for the distillery.
That's,
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
they're
good
one
to
of
know.
our big
It's hard
farmers.
for us to choose because Leslie and I are big farm stand attendees. We also love, if you're at the Lin, close to the Lin is I and Me Farm,
Yeah.
is one of our faves. I probably go there every Saturday or Sunday in the summer and pick up whatever they've got. And
Same.
And-
Mimi's a magician.
yeah, some 1610 sourdough bread is usually my summer weekend pickup from there.
And again,
Yeah.
that's the joys because every farm you've mentioned is literally a small business, people getting their hands in the dirt,
Yeah.
growing something, putting it out there. Even the bread is small batch.
Yeah.
They can only make so much. So it just all adds to the joy of living here.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because when we first started the show, we did used to say, what's your favorite X, what's your favorite this? And we realized that there's just so much to offer that how could you pick a favorite and how could you just say one? There's so many of everything. So that's why we really try to gear the questions of like, where do you get your specific green tomatoes and where do you get your,
Yeah.
your purple cauliflower and and it's so great to hear all the different answers because there's just a plethora of bounty out here in
Have
every
you ever
direction.
had the spicy mix from KK's?
No.
That-
Oh.
It's actually I can't even eat other lettuce now. It's
Really?
so delicious.
See?
Yeah.
See? These are the things that and a lot of us tend to fall into the pattern of where we live, so we go to those farm stands more often, but it's really nice to hear when other people can kind of tell you, oh, you've got to get this. Like I just shared last week that I cannot live without Goodale Farms pickles. And I absolutely love them. So, and maybe people don't know that. So I think it's important to everybody just share what they know and just like I said, there's so much bounty out here that that's what makes the North Fork so beautiful and so special.
Totally.
Yeah.
So just to close the show, just give us one sentence. You can each give us one of why you love being a part of this North Fork community.
I mean, what I talked about before, just like the community of people that are out here, like doing things that are wonderful and fun and interesting and different. And just like being near the water, the people and the water and the light and the sunsets and the bay and the sound, the farms. Yeah.
And the people of the North Fork have I think, have a lot of respect for one another and really give one another space to live their lives how they choose to. And the North Fork affords you such a robust lifestyle, however you want to live it. It's nice that your neighbors just kind of let you live how you want to live, and that is, I think, is kind of rare these days. We're a pretty live and let live community, and I think that's great.
I think my favorite part of the show is being reminded every Friday of why I love being here. And every Friday, I mean, it's a common theme, obviously, about community on the North Fork here, but every Friday it just brings such warmth to my heart to be like, I'm so glad we all found our way here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. I'm really happy to hear the backstory about Lynn. I look forward to our guest bartending spot. But also look forward to the fish fry and having you back again to talk about the distillery.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Oh, thank you
Thank you for
again.
joining
Enjoy
us
your
today.
weekend, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at Winterfest. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.